Coordinates: 33 degrees 50 and 35 degrees 50, A, 33.833 degrees north, 35.833 degrees east, 33.833, 35.833. Lebanon, officially known as the Lebanese Republic, is a country in the Levant region of Western Asia and the transcontinental region of the Middle East. It is bordered by Syria to the north and east, and Israel to the south, while Cyprus lies west across the Mediterranean Sea. Lebanon's location at the crossroads of the Mediterranean basin and the Arabian hinterland has contributed to its rich history and shaped a cultural identity of religious and ethnic diversity. At just 10,452 square kilometers, it is one of the smallest recognized sovereign states in the Asian continent. The official language, Arabic, is the most common language spoken by the citizens of Lebanon. The earliest evidence of civilization in Lebanon dates back more than 7,000 years, predating recorded history. Lebanon was home to the Phoenicians, a maritime culture that flourished for almost 3,000 years. In 64 BC, the Roman Empire conquered the region and eventually became one of its leading centers of Christianity. The Mount Lebanon range saw the emergence of a monastic tradition known as the Maronite Church. As the Arab Muslims conquered the region, the Maronites held onto their religion and identity. However, a new religious group, the Druze, established themselves in Mount Lebanon as well, generating a religious divide that has lasted for centuries. During the Crusades, the Maronites re-established contact with the Roman Catholic Church and asserted their communion with Rome. These ties have influenced the region into the modern era. Lebanon was conquered by the Ottomans in the 16th century and remained under their rule for the next 400 years. Following the empire's collapse after World War I, the 5 provinces constituting modern Lebanon came under the French mandate. The French expanded the borders of the Mount Lebanon Governorate, which was predominantly Maronite and Druze, to include more Muslims upon independence in 1943. Lebanon established a unique confessionalist form of government, with the major religious sects apportioned specific political powers. Lebanon initially enjoyed political and economic stability, which was shattered by the bloody Lebanese Civil War. Despite Lebanon's small size, Lebanese culture is renowned both in the Arab world and globally, powered by its large and influential diaspora. Prior to the Civil War, the country enjoyed a diversified economy that included tourism, agriculture, commerce, and banking. Its financial power and stability through the 1950s and 1960s earned Lebanon the name of Switzerland of the East, while its capital, Beirut, attracted so many tourists that it was known as the Paris of the Middle East. Since the end of the war, there have been extensive efforts to revive the economy and rebuild national infrastructure, while still recovering from the political and economic effects of the conflict. Lebanon remains a cosmopolitan and developing country, with one of the highest Human Development Index and GDP per capita in the Arab world outside of the oil-rich economies of the Persian Gulf. Lebanon was a founding member of the United Nations in 1945 and is a member of the Arab League and the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie. The name of Mount Lebanon originates from the Phoenician root Lbn, meaning white, apparently from its snow-capped peaks. Occurrences of the name have been found in different Middle Bronze Age texts from the Library of Abla and 3 of the 12 tablets of the Epic of Gilgamesh. The name is recorded in ancient Egyptian as Rmnn, where R stood for Canaanite. The name occurs nearly 70 times in the Hebrew Bible as Lebanon as the name of an administrative unit in 1920, and eventually in the name of the Sovereign Republic of Lebanon upon its independence in 1943. The borders of contemporary Lebanon are a product of the Treaty of Sèvres of 1920. Its territory was the core of the Bronze Age Phoenician city-states. As part of the Levant, it was part of numerous succeeding empires throughout ancient history, including the Egyptian, Assyrian, Babylonian, Achaemenid Persian, Hellenistic, Roman and Sassanid Persian Empire. After the 7th century Muslim conquest of the Levant, it was part of the Rashidu Umayyad, Abbasid Seljuk and Fatimid Empire. The Crusader state of the county of Tripoli, founded by Raymond IV of Toulouse in 1102, encompassed most of present-day Lebanon, falling to the Mamluk Sultanate in 1289 and finally to the Ottoman Empire in 1516. With the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire, Greater Lebanon fell under French mandate in 1920, and gained independence under President Bechara el-Khoury in 1943. Lebanon's history since independence has been marked by alternating periods of political stability and prosperity based on Beirut's position as a regional center for finance and trade, interspersed with political turmoil and armed conflict. Evidence dating